And you're listening to the 402 Business Insider. I'm Travis Filing with Transformation Marketing, and with me is Gary. How you doing today, Gary?
I'm doing great. I did some laundry, read a book, sent some documents, cleaned a little bit. Like, I'm done with Saturday when we're done with this. So.
Oh, man.
I'm going to take it easy this afternoon.
You've had a busy Saturday already.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It's
nice.
Funny because our first sponsor we have to mention is the UPS stores today. And when we had them on the air, we were joking around that you guys do fat heads. And what shows up in my office, but fat heads of us. How crazy is that? Yeah, I guess you got to get on the on YouTube or something and check it out. But yeah, they do more than just business cards and printing. They do fat heads. Mine is like huge. Yours is like actual to scale, actual size, right?
It'll end up being a dartboard. So not sure how happy I am about it.
I thought maybe what we could do is, like cut the mouths out. So when one of us is gone and we have a guest, then they could put their mouth up there and it would look like we're still here.
AI so can help us with that.
Yeah, that's right. And our guest today is Robin Eschliman and Dave Albers. How you guys doing?
We are doing well. This is so nice of you to invite us.
Yes, we appreciate it. Thank you.
We always see you guys out in the hallway, and it's like we have 2 minutes to pass each other and for us to get out of the studio and you to get in and get ready for your show. And it's like, gosh, we should get together and talk.
Yes, we're the Girl Lincoln show right after you guys.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I've seen you guys since I last co-hosted that show. God, that's 7 years ago. How long have you been on the air?
2010.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
So
we just got this nice letter from Congressman Mike Flood congratulating us on 15
Completely
years.
surprising.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw that on your social media.
Yeah. And he's a former radio guy, so he gets it.
Yes, he is.
He knows how much work
Yes,
it
he is
to plan a show, right?
And he worked here. Didn't he work? I think he worked at Broadcast House back in the day.
I think at one of the stations.
Yeah, I think he worked at Froggy.
Yeah, that sounds
if
right.
I'm remembering it correctly. So it's
so.
been a long time. So many of us have passed each other through all our years of radio. And it's like, I think we worked together back then. And yeah. So both of you are business owners, right? And
Correct.
So Robin, you and your husband have Eschliman Commercial Real Estate.
Right.
So tell us a little about that. How did you guys get started in that?
I have been in commercial real estate my whole career, ever since college. Really, Joe Biden was a boy. And so I worked for the big company for probably 20 years and then went out on my own when I was in my, mid 40s. By then I was pretty established. And then my husband sold his retail business, Dietz Music House.
Right.
Wanted a change of career. So he came and worked with me. So we do most of what our company does is office sales and leasing, retail sales and leasing, a little bit of industrial, and business and sale of business for people that are retiring.
Oh, so you actually do business.
Brokerage.
Okay.
Yeah, business brokerage.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's something newer that we've started doing in recent years as the baby boomers retire. So, and that is a whole really emerging industry with formulas and procedures and a different way of thinking. People used to think, I'll just, close down, there's nobody to buy my business. But in commercial real estate, we are having a shortage of real estate properties. And this is a way to get one, is to buy somebody's business. Then you get their location.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, do you want to sell my business? I can make change for 100. It's been one of those weeks.
That's the opposite for me. I had a good one. So
yeah,
I'm going to keep buying.
Did you use a broker when you sold your business?
No. But I had 2 businesses in town that had wanted my business forever.
Oh, right.
So I did have it valued. I did have a valuation done, but technically we were in COVID. So my business, hospitality, we lost 72% of our business that was contracted for the rest
that was
of the
so
year.
painful. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember when they closed down, and we did do a ton of work with the universities, a lot of corporations, everything, and it was going to be just a 2-week thing, So we had brides calling, in tears, trying to deal with them. The weddings kind of came back first, but most of the corporate work, we received letters like from the university that said we're shutting down anything corporate, entertaining, or anything for the rest of the year.
Right.
So March to December. So I thought I would have trouble selling, but I had really good relationships with them, and so went back and forth and sold it that way. But I had a valuation done like
you at least have to have
earlier.
that.
Yeah, because I'd always wanted to be a realtor, which is kind of funny. People are like, where did that come from? I always wanted, but it was like, oh, I can't show my shop now because, you know, Robin's daughter's getting married next year. There's always some reason why, you know,
right.
I don't want to face her and say, gee, guess what?
Well, see, it's funny because there was some company, they like one of those traveling type companies that roll through town and they'll evaluate your business and they'll sell it. And
after they're done roofing.
More or less, yes. And my wife got hooked. And so we went in there, we did this all day thing. And it was so weird because they would pull you out of the group and have like this side meeting to talk to you about your business. It was the most awkward, uncomfortable thing. And like, our business is weird. We're a marketing firm. So, I mean, what's the value of our business? It's all relationships and, you know, there's contracts, but still, I mean,
well, try to be the florist where you're the designer. Everybody knows your work, and that has to be taken into consideration with what you're doing from business.
It is a constant struggle. Sure. Is the business scalable, or is it just you?
Right.
Exactly. And what can we get if it's just you? Can we get something for your equipment, your inventory? Can we do a little bit better than the typical commercial broker would do for you?
Right. Yeah. You're rolling accounts receivable, that type of thing.
Yeah. And are you going to stick around and stay and try and help nurture the new owner? Yeah, that would be
or do you just want to leave the keys at the cash register and go?
So Dave, like the rest of us, you're an adult daycare too, right? I mean, real estate. Sorry.
Well, I am, and I've been doing it for a few years. I actually got my real estate license in 1985.
Before Joe Biden was born.
That's right.
Wait.
And the funny thing is the reason why I got interested in real estate was I took a course in college, taught by somebody that Robin and I both know, and it just was very interesting to me. And I graduated from college, and I said, I'm going to go out and try to do this. And what I did was for about 10 years, I was what they now call a house flipper. I bought and sold houses. And then I had a bunch of guys working for me and doing construction work. But I always had my real estate license at commercial firms because I kind of felt like in the long run, that's what I wanted to do. And so that's what I did.
So there was a period where you did both residential and commercial?
Oh, yeah, for about 10 years.
I mean, we don't see that much anymore.
Well, but I didn't do residential sales. The only residential stuff I did was my own stuff.
Right.
So I didn't really do, well, I shouldn't say that. I did a couple residential sales for friends.
Sure.
But not that many.
Yeah.
See, and I was always curious because like when you're in real estate, when you're like flipping, you're looking for houses that need help, you know, and do people just call and you go, you know what, I'll just buy this or make them an offer, or how does that work?
It was a lot easier back when I was doing it, which is why I kind of got out of it. There wasn't the level of competition that there is now because everybody has heard about it and everybody's trying to do it. I simply put an ad in the newspaper saying, I will purchase your home with cash.
Mm.
You were an early adapter flipper,
you know, and so that's what and so people would call up and I'd go over and take a look, and you'll appreciate this. I got proficient enough at it that I would go into the house. I'd say, hold on, I'll be back in 15 or 20 minutes. I set in my car, did my calculations, went in, and I said, here you go. If you want to do it, we can do it. Nice. And if you want to close in a week, I can do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my point is, you know, now people will go through the whole process, but I knew the market that I was dealing in well.
See, and nowadays, to me, flipping is a 4-letter word, right? Yeah. Because there are so many people out there that are terrible at it, or terrible on purpose at it. They know enough how to put the lipstick on a pig just to sell it off and make a fortune. and then it leaves somebody holding the bag.
I wish I made as much money as they showed them doing it on television, because it never works that way.
On HGTV,
Never
TV, that one. Yeah, that's very interesting. You know, and I see everything, right? Because I'm out showing these residential homes, and I can almost tell you, I know who probably flipped this, or I probably know who flipped that. And you see just a lot of everything.
Well, I had a formula.
There you go. You had a process, and you stuck to your process.
I did the same thing.
Yep.
I would send my guys in, and I go, you know what to do.
Cabinets, carpet,
same cabinets, same carpet.
It's all the same. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's funny. Sense. We do the same thing, except we don't flip. We buy, we hold.
Right.
But we have the same cabinets, we have the same carpet, we have the same wall colors. Even at my house, it's the exact same.
Yeah. I would say at the end of the day, it is all better than it was when they found it. So they're beautifying Lincoln a little bit. You know, is the backsplash going to fall off in 2 years? That is possible. Right. 2 years, it's going to be real nice. And then there's flippers, if you want to call that, do a fantastic job. There's renovators. You know, our team has bought, we renovated a home in the Knolls that was amazing. Removing the roof, the whole ball of wax, completely different than flipping. But people would be like, you flipped this house really nice. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And there's less profit in it.
Yeah.
But at least you know that you're handing off a good property.
I used to get a lot of properties that were unmortgageable. And that's how I made my money. Is I could buy them. Most people couldn't buy them. And we would just go ahead and I'd fix the problem that resolved.
So you said you did that for about 10 years. When did you become mostly commercial?
I started Albers Company in 1994.
Okay. So mid-90s.
And so what happened was I was there and doing both. And when I started out, it was 80% of my revenue was from the house flipping thing, 20% from commercial real estate. And within a year and a half, it flipped over
completely.
It was the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. It didn't take very long.
And is commercial harder than residential? I know it's very different.
It is. Every building is so specialized. You know, you can find comparables for houses. One property we have listed, it's a garden center. Where do you find comparable sales?
Right.
Or, if you have a listing like a church, it's really difficult, so we spend so much time researching.
Well, and you can run into other things with garden centers too. When I bought Tyrrell's in 2001, we were considering buying that building until a friend of mine said, you better check the soil, because they'd been there 100 years.
Right.
And in checking the soil, we realized that if you buy that, and we can't grandfather, and that because we were going to tear down the greenhouse because the profit margins were terrible. It was 12 feet of soil that Chan had to bring out from that building and have disposed of properly. Yeah. So there's so many things like that in commercial. I'm asked all the time.
It's so intricate.
Why don't you do commercial? And I go, it's a whole nother ballgame.
Wow. Yeah, we've all had those problems.
402 Business Insider. This segment is sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Systems and Barry Law. Today we have some really fun guests. Robin and Dave from Grow Lincoln are joining us, so we can find out a little bit more about the two of you. I listened to your show for years. I co-hosted a while, and I know you, so I know your history. But you're always talking about with someone else or about someone else, so it's kind of fun to find out a little bit about exactly what you do, how you got into it, and one thing in real estate that I say a lot. I mentor some younger realtors that are in their 20s, and I'll talk to them about their brand. You are a brand. Right. And so you have to establish your clientele. Tell us a little bit about, you were doing commercial from the get-go, Robin, right?
Right.
And Dave, you were doing the flipping and then into commercial. But tell us a little bit the process of establishing credibility when you opened your own business, or did people already know you? How describe that a little bit.
When I opened my own business, by then they did know me because I had done some time on the city council, which I would never trade that experience for anything, but I would compare it to 4 years of never-ending jury duty. And
it was the longest 9 years of your life, right?
Oh my gosh, like a root canal that would never end. That's how I would describe it.
It's 24/7, So a lot of people knew my name.
Sure.
So and when I wanted to start my own company, I went to the lawyer and I said, I want to start a real estate company that has an easy name, because I'd worked for one that had a very difficult name. And I said, I just want to call it Commercial Real Estate Services. I want everybody to understand what I do. I don't sell houses, it's not this big long name. And he goes, no. he goes, your last name is your brand, and that's what you're going to call your company. So like, okay.
Yeah,
so,
precisely to your point.
Brad, there's a lot to that.
Eschliman Commercial Real Estate.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense.
So
I love that.
So who did you work for then before?
I'm not going to tell
okay.
you because actually I love them.
Oh, they're still in business.
They're still
let's not plug them.
They're
We're
still
not
in business, and I'm still personal friends with them. But it was one of those. Do you want to work your whole life at a company? Do you ever want to go out and do your own thing?
Sure.
And I left during city council, and it was very difficult to serve two masters. You had the mayor and the staff calling you from the city all the time, and then there's the corporate needs of the real estate world. And I'm an ambivert, and my time of healing was when I started my own company and I could just be alone,
Sure.
for part of the day.
I'm going to ask, what is an ambivert?
I'm partly highly social and partly introverted.
Got it.
It's about a pretty good split.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I've never heard that term before, but I'm not well read. So,
and that's the thing. I was lucky enough to be old enough when I started my business to know what my strengths were and were not. I knew especially from my city council experience, that I hated managing people because I want everyone to like me. And I knew I knew I was not going to be the kind of business owner that was going to scale. I knew that right from day one, that I wanted to be a small boutique service. And I know society wants you to scale, but that was not me.
Yeah.
So what was it like then trying to start a business while being on city council? Because that had to be excruciating. Because I think, I'm in small town, but I'm the mayor in Panama, and running a business and doing that, it's a lot.
I'd been doing it for 20 years by that point. So my customers came with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have trouble. I mean, what we did have trouble with was the crash, because the crash occurred a year or two after I went on my own. And that was just starvation for anybody in real estate.
Yes.
We all just starved and wrote it out.
And I think it was harder for people in commercial real estate than it was in residential.
Definitely.
Because, as I always say, nobody has to expand their business. But,
you might have to sell a house.
Yeah. When somebody wants a house, they're going to get a house.
Fear is a big motivator. And so, especially in commercial, I could see that huge as an entrepreneur. It's like, is now the time to grow? Probably not, during that time frame. So that'd be difficult. I had the same experience when I bought Terrell. So I bought the largest flower shop in town, combined it with mine, and 7 months later, the towers were knocked down. And people were not buying it. Like, flowers were out the window. It's like, we don't need that for anything. So it was a huge struggle. And it's interesting. We get through those times. We never get over them. We can remember them, but you get through them somehow.
You get an education, don't you, when things go wrong?
Yes, sir. You sure do.
Well, I remember when I left KLIN, it was in the summer of 2007, and went to work with because I helped Shannon.
Year I started my company.
Yeah, brutal, absolutely brutal. And I always joke, I traded in a 7-figure salary for a 4-figure salary, and that is absolute truth. Yeah. I mean,
right.
End up selling off all the investments, the 401k and whatnot at half price, and then you pay the penalty. And
in generally speaking, a lot of the general public think the four of us are rich because we own a business,
aren't we?
Right? And it's so. I've been looking for rich for years.
Yes.
I don't know where he went with all my money, but I mean that's kind of something. And the entrepreneurial spirit isn't for everyone.
No,
right?
It's not.
I mean, and like you being an ambivert, is that what you said the word is? I love that word, ambivert. There's part of you that loves it, and part of you that's like, this is where I regenerate and get my strength back. And I
actually like computer work some
alone.
days. Yeah.
See, for me, I jump behind my drums with headphones, or I play the piano, and that's how that's my peace time.
Or go to the gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, not
you must have just been looking at my fat head.
Yes.
Yeah. So apologies to all the people that see me in the gym with the headphones. Now you know she's an ambivert.
I do the same. I do go to the gym and I do the same.
But yeah, it's one of those things that the hard times really sharpen you for later business, because even when times are good, you're hustling because you have to, because you feel like bad times could be right around the corner.
Oh, and the stories Dave and I tell to younger brokers, when I was a child walking up the hill both ways in the snow,
Yeah,
we just took money for groceries out of our real estate company.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I always tell the story when Shannon and I, when we were together running our business, Menard started selling groceries, and we were using our Menard card to feed our kids. I mean, when times are tight.
You had it bad. Oh.
Yeah, bad timing. And we're back on the 402 Business Insider. All that dead air was brought to you by Red Rhino Roofing and Lincoln Coin and Bullion. Sorry about that. I didn't hit the button. I'm always standing over here. Now we have an extra guest in here, and I'm at the wrong part, and I hit the wrong button because the mic's right. Anyway,
oh, you're so human.
Little inside baseball here, a little more than you wanted to know. We're back. We're talking with Dave Albers and Robin Eschliman from Grow Lincoln, and we haven't started talking about Grow Lincoln yet. But so before we do, though, what are like some big, when you guys started your business, there's always that one big, yes, this was the right choice. I'm so glad we started our own business. Did you guys have any big aha moment, big opportunity, something came your way that made you just excited to be owning your own business?
Well, I had effectively been owning my own business in the beginning because of what I was doing with the house stuff. So I just thought, okay, I'm doing two things. I'm paying for two different overheads. Why don't I just pay one overhead?
Yeah.
It was that easy. Sure. And the people I worked with, I really liked them. I got along great with them. Matter of fact, I leased a space from from a property that they owned. That wasn't the problem. It was just, I thought, well, I'm just going to, only pay one overhead instead of paying theirs also.
And that's kind of scaling your business. It's kind of tough. Sometimes,
but it was, like I said, it was odd how it just flipped in a fairly short period of time.
Yeah,
it just,
and you just knew.
And I kind of knew that something like that was going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah. See, and we've done that in our business, where you get into you start getting to a point where it's like, oh man, here's an opportunity, and here's an opportunity, and then you start getting out on the skinny branches with all your different directions, and you go, it's time to rein this back in.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need to do this part of our business anymore. So did you have anything when you switched over?
I knew exactly what I was getting into. I did go through a time period later, especially, the recession, things were kind of slow and you didn't have as many appointments, and I got lonely, and I would go to the Chamber of Commerce and LIBA meetings to meet friends. And then I did try to join another company for a while, and that didn't end up working out. I went back on my own, and I have just never, other than that loneliness, which I've learned to deal with, or, I often share with people. What I've learned is that I really do prefer the flexibility of owning your own company and being able to make a lot of your own decisions.
Yeah,
certainly. Sure.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference. I love that now. I mean, I had my flower shop for 38 years. I had all the way from 30 employees at one time down to 5 employees at one time, and always loved the people I work with. But I am so, I'll say one more, so happy not to have employees now. Don't anybody that work for me take that personal, especially not Travis's wife who worked for me. But it is just nice to be on my own. And it's like, I'm going to get what I put out of it. If I don't put into it, I won't be successful. You didn't ask me the question, but my big aha moment was a oh no moment. The very first house I showed, I left because of the crackheads in the basement that finally started making noise after I found evidence of them. Got on the porch and go, literally right now, I just want to take all my clothes and shoes off and burn them and hop in the shower, which I did go home and leave them all outside. And it was that bad. And I was like, what did I get myself into? And learned very quick. And it's been uphill since then, right? Where else could it go? So,
well, I think too, I was doing hybrid and independent contractors, and, I've always had a team of 3 people around me, but during COVID, people just acted like this was a whole new thing.
Mhm.
And I would remember that for millennia, people worked alone, worked in their home, worked at home, worked hybrid. For millennia, people did that. And I think corporate America sort of had this paternalistic attitude that you have to be managed. And I've never really believed that many people need to be constantly managed and hyper focus put on them. We have in our DNA to survive and to work hard and to provide for our families. And I think that all of that corporate micromanaging is just so anti-biology. And so many Americans proved during the COVID that they could work at home, and so many of them did go out and started their own businesses during COVID.
Yeah, definitely. And meetings can be a killer. That's the other thing with the corp, whether you're working from home or not. I mean, I talk to a lot of people that are working from home for their corporations now, and their killer are meetings. It's just like, and we have them in real estate all the time. I mean, the CE you have to take, but we're always having educational meetings or this or that. I've really gotten to a point where I really decide I've been in a meeting with that leader before and I'm not going. Just, I mean, either we just have a different personality or it's just not going to be profitable for me. It's nice to be able to make that decision. You know?
And real estate's such a great field if you're like that. If you sort of like that umbrella of having some team members,
bingo.
But you are kind of a lone ranger, it's a perfect career for you.
So Dave, are you the Lone Ranger?
Well, I have other people in my
You have
office.
a team.
Yeah. But while I do the same thing that Robin does, I also do property management. And so
which I do not do anymore.
Bingo. That's a whole nother ballgame.
And so that
you have to have a team for that.
And so I have, but we do only commercial buildings and associations, property associations. We don't do multifamily or single family residential. So we kind of specialize in those areas. Yeah. And now I own some multifamily and single family stuff, but we don't do it as a third party.
Got it. Sure.
Provider.
And commercial leases, it is, I mean, it's a lot to understand. And it's funny because I own some commercial properties, but we rent them like houses. Yeah. It's just a friend of mine, he has several businesses and he's telling me he's digging up, paying to put plumbing into this strip mall. And I go, you have to pay for that?
Yep.
Yes, you do. It's called triple net. I'm like, okay, as a property owner, I'm like, explain to me triple net because I like the sounds of this.
If I could have money for every time I explained triple net to a business owner leasing commercial space, I would be a rich woman. Yeah. And interestingly, we are having an attorney on our show right after this who's going to talk about those commercial leases and how people are just lost when they.
Oh yeah,
yes.
When
it can be very confusing. And here's the other problem: unlike residential, where most of your language is pretty much the same,
correct?
They can be all over the place in commercial. So it's just different.
He was telling us that before. When we were planning the show, that now they're having to put stuff about the tariffs in commercial leases.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what he says about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That'll be interesting. It was funny because Troy sent me a copy of his lease. Like my lease is 2 pages long. I'm probably doing this wrong, but I was going through it and it's like, oh my gosh, I need somebody. If I'm going to move to this model, then I really need to hire somebody who knows what they're doing. Yeah. And that's where you guys come in.
Well, just for instance, a lease that I'm working on right now, 47 pages.
Oh, geez.
Right. So I rented in Edgewood when I first opened my store in 86. Oh gosh, what was his name? It was in real estate for Hub Hall.
Oh yeah.
It was he and four other guys that built Edgewood. Great landlords, great lease. I could read it. It was 12 pages long, I think, but very simple, very easy landlord. And then it was bought by a company out of Omaha that came in with a 67-page lease in 1988.
Oh my goodness.
Every lawyer in New York.
And I thought, I am not signing this. And they're like, well, your lease is going to be up whenever, whatever. So I started looking, and in the meantime, my heater went out. And they came in and they're like, well, here's what you need to replace your heater with. And it was $14,000 at the time. And I was like, well, I'm not replacing the heater. I haven't signed your lease. And they're just going through all this stuff, I'm sure, thinking I didn't know what I was talking about. I really didn't know what I was talking about, but I faked it super well.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, in the meantime, I hooked up with Marlon Schwartz, who had built the old Cheney Plaza across the street.
He's a client of mine.
Is he?
Great guy.
Oh, yeah. And rented from him then for the next 33 years. And one of the best landlords I ever had. I mean, it was just amazing. And his lease was sensible. And it wasn't very long before a lot of the people out of Edgewood were just sleeping, because Bob and Grace Milton, Misty's, it was the same thing. Then the next thing I got was a bill for my share. I had 2,400 square feet, and my share of the landscaping bill that they just did and then billed me was 20,000. His was like 130,000 because of his square footage. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm sure that's probably changed a little bit now, but when did triple net kind of become a thing? Has it always been around in commercial real estate? Was it before Joe Biden's grandmother was born? Or you're this? I mean, I'm just curious on that.
It was. I mean, when I started out in the 80s, it was a thing. When you have some of these local landlords, a lot of them just do things kind of the old-fashioned way, because that's what they've done. They're comfortable with it. But if they go out and get a whole legal team together, what it is doing is it's shifting risk.
Sure.
It's shift risk from the landlord to the tenant.
Yeah.
It's really all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember they wanted a percentage of my profits. And I said, what about losses? Are you sharing that percentage?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That was a big no.
and that was a thing that was very common in
malls,
yeah. But it wasn't very prevalent in smaller
little strip malls, which is what I think was the challenge in 1988 when that all happened.
Yeah. And I don't know if I want my landlord going through my books.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we have a lot of leases where we have them tell us what their sales are and what, because we're trying to figure out if they want to renegotiate with us. And this is from a property management perspective. Are they lying to us? Or is this just a 1-year blip? Or is this a trend that's going for them? Or why is it that the rest of the people in your business are doing well and you're not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, if a landlord is thinking about raising rents in a shopping center, it's probably good to know what everyone's sales are before you do that. Because if everybody's struggling, you're just going to hurt them more.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Or they'll leave or go somewhere else.
So I would say it's not a bad thing to share your sales with your landlord.
Interesting. See, like I think of it like the IRS. I've been losing money for 20 years. I've never made a profit. I'm sure they're listening right now, and I'll get audited this year. But no,
I'm glad I never said that.
I love it. Right.
So there are more though than just triple net leases, right? There's I don't know if it's single net, double net. There's where you just pay the taxes.
Well, keep in mind something. If all you want to do is just pay the electric bill and you think the landlord should pay everything else, he's got to charge enough money to cover all those other things.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise,
exactly right.
Why would he own that property?
Right.
Correct.
He's not in a charity business.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay it one way or the other.
Yeah. That's we're having the conversation now with our tenants going taxes and insurance. Oh my gosh. Insurance is going through the roof. It's like, the rent has to go up because
I do tell tenants, the triple net, as we call it, is more precise. Otherwise, if you refuse to sign a triple net lease, the landlord's just going to have to take a guess. He's going to have to raise the rent, and it might be too much, but at least you'll have one solid number that you always know.
Right. True. I think triple net is not bad in my opinion if there's good communication up front,
and good,
like we need some landscaping done. So let's talk to the tenants. Hey, we're looking down the road. We're going to want to do this. Let's get your input, whatever.
Be warned.
Yeah, something like that where you can plan, because
we had a drought. We had to water and water and water and water and water.
Yeah. So, how does that work? Do you see that happening?
Snow removal.
That's a big one.
Wow.
We get that all the time. We had several years ago, we had significant snow removal issues. we had an association that was over budget by $70,000.
Ouch.
Whoa.
And it was very common for them to be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And, it was freakish year, a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And so we have to make sure that there's plenty of money around to take care of that. That's part of, as a manager, we have to assume that something bad's going to happen sometime and figure out how that's going to be paid. If we have to finance it through some other entity or just have a fund available for it.
Sure.
So for brand new business owners or people who are just getting ready to, like my business started in our basement, and for people who are going, hey, I'm getting ready, I think it's time to find a location, either an office or some reason. What advice would you guys hand out to them?
The first, depends what type of business they're going to go into. One of the things that I would suggest is that if it's something that's office related, maybe just go and rent a single office somewhere in one of these office sharing places, or just a single office. You can do that reasonably inexpensively, and then you can grow yourself from there. Now you can't do that with retail. You have to have a retail location, much like you did.
Oh yeah,
Gary.
location,
and it's all about the location. One quick thing, just for your listeners: triple net, 3 things. Triple: common area maintenance, property insurance, property taxes. Those are the 3 things that make up triple nets. Now there's a lot in common area maintenance, which is what you were talking about, but those are the biggies that we deal with. And when we are a property manager at the end of the year, to Robin's point, we have to reconcile all of our leases that are triple net leases. So we go in and say, okay, it costs $5.27 per square foot this year to do this, but we charged you $5.30. So we have to give you 3 cents a square foot back.
Okay.
Or the other way around.
Okay. So you
Fair
have,
enough.
like you said, you have a big snow year or you have a no snow year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had them both.
Right.
So you're kind of doing this balance of, well, we're planning on 9 snowstorms this year or whatever it is, and you kind of base it on that, and then you reconcile.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's
And
good.
it takes a lot.
That's a lot of juggling.
It's a lot of juggling, a lot of time. That's why it's harder than people think it is to do triple net leases. But and here's the other problem: they're all different.
Yeah.
Particularly when you're dealing with national companies.
But it is the
Something like
most
that.
fair way to do it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
my
it makes
guess,
sense.
for me, like if I were going to go and find a place, I would find somebody. I would call you guys and just have you lead me through the process, because it's a lot to know. I mean, I tell people I own real estate. I don't even understand triple net.
Yeah. And you're going to have some capital. You're going to have a business plan. Landlords might want to see tax returns. You're going to need an accountant. You'll need a team. And so we tell you what kind of team you need to be putting together.
Yeah. And I love if you're just doing an office, we decided we were going to move into Omaha, our business. And we just went to, I don't even remember what the company was called, but they had a big building. And we just rented one single office.
Bingo.
It was pretty cheap. And then when we decided, I'm tired of driving to Omaha, you close the door, you move on.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
That's my
so
point.
flexible.
Yeah.
But if you were there and you said, okay, I need 2 offices now.
Yeah. And
so,
you can expand.
And easy to expand. And once you get to about 3 or 4 offices, then you might as well just go out on your own and lease your own space.
Yeah.
Usually.
Very good.
Welcome back to 402 Business Insider. This segment is sponsored by Western National Bank and Complete Family Dermatology, 2 fantastic sponsors.
Yeah,
of
I'm
ours.
actually going to see Complete Family Derm. It's one of those, I was looking in the mirror and you kind of see a spot that I didn't normally see, and you go, I better just go get that checked, and it's one of those, what is different on your skin, and that's why, skin cancer is a killer. People don't realize that.
Yeah, definitely.
Scary. Very, very scary.
Well, we have the pleasure today of speaking with Robin Eschliman and Dave Albers. And you guys, of course, are Grow Lincoln the show on just after this. And
what station's that on again?
It is on 1400 KLIN.
Oh,
yeah, which is absolutely wonderful. And I sponsored your show for years, right?
And you would sub for Dave if he got sick.
Yes,
and
sub, which was wonderful. That show, speaking of the title Grow Lincoln, the show itself has really grown too. I think, your Facebook page is fabulous. I love that. People are so engaging in that. But tell us a little bit about how the two of you decided to start that show. What were some of your early on challenges? Because that would really help us a lot to know.
That's all we have are challenges.
What have you seen in growth in it? How do you feel about it now?
Well, number one, Robin and I knew each other prior to starting the show.
We were frenemies. We were friendly competitors. We knew each other through the Realtors Association. We worked on projects. He supported my city council campaign.
Yeah. So Robin completed her tenure at city council, and I think she kind of had been listening to the Grow Omaha show. And we had talked about this.
There were developers in Lincoln that knew there was this show in Omaha, and they kept saying, could we get something like that in Lincoln? Because Lincoln had been in a 10-year war with itself over whether it wanted to grow. And we were at the point where there was an arena being proposed, and the polling, they knew it was maybe 50-50.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was when we launched.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what started. I will say we did go and meet with one of the guys from the Grow Omaha show and gave us some. He gave us some.
They were very
advice.
supportive. Yeah,
very supportive.
They were honored.
They were our first guest.
Oh wow, how cool is that?
Show.
Yeah.
Is it the same guys doing it?
Yep.
Okay.
Same guys doing it in Omaha.
Yeah.
Well, it's been very successful. I mean, I love listening to it all the time. Your show is just really
we have a really tight formula, and we've followed it from day one. We're fast paced. 5 segments. 4 of the 5 are interviews. Most of those are our sponsors on our show, but we do pull in some people from the outside every once in a while. And then the 5th segment is businesses opening, closing, and moving around. And that is what people love.
I love that too.
They love that segment.
And see,
we get a surprisingly large number of residential realtors who listen to our show.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
That would make sense.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I bet you a lot of radio salespeople do.
Yeah.
I laugh because I left radio sales in 2007, and then the show came on. I'm like, where the heck was this show when I was selling radio?
Yeah, the sponsors get to come on the show, and they also get to run commercials on the weeks that they're not on the show. So their name just keeps popping up. We promote them on social media. We give their name inside the show. So it's been a great relationship, and we get a lot of our news from our sponsors.
Yeah, definitely. Of course you do. What were some of your early challenges?
We were very nerdy when we first started, very bookish, very almost more like little professors trying to teach people.
It was more, we started out thinking it was going to be a teaching show.
Got it.
Like an education thing. And really, I think, Dave, wouldn't you say that Jack Mitchell probably influenced us more than anybody? Because Jack is it's got to be entertaining, you guys, and it's got to be fast paced, and we're not going to land on anything too long here. We're going to keep this moving,
right,
and keep it fun. And Jack calls it edutainment.
Yeah.
And so we really had to reorient and make it an entertaining show.
I think she hit the nail right on the head. I mean, it just we were trying to be a little too NPR,
college classy.
Yeah,
but there's certain groups of people that like that, and then a lot of people that like something more fast-paced and quick.
Well, and the thing about radio, especially if you're driving in your car, at home too, now with your remote controls and everything, is if you get a little boring quick, it's really easy to just go to the next station and not hold your listener.
You can lose them at a roundabout if you're not interesting enough.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
One other person that I think helped us was John Baylor.
Yes,
we
went to him for coaching.
Yeah, we talked to John Baylor and had him listen to a couple shows, and we went over to his house and sat down, and he said, you need to do this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
Interesting.
He was right.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen your show grow and develop. And now that we're talking about this and you're mentioning it, I can go, that's what it was at the beginning a little bit sometimes where I was like, oh, it's, for me, I was like, oh, God, it's Saturday. I don't want details. And,
right.
And then
right.
like that
Exactly.
wasn't edutainment at all, and then it's pivoted a lot since then. I mean, it's a popular show. I love it. You mentioned a word that's interesting, roundabout. So I never started taking Dramamine until I started showing houses out on Yankee Hill.
Dramamine Hill Road.
I'm telling you, it's like, where do you want to look today? So I'm doing my little map. I'm gonna have to take my Dramamine. I'm going down Yankee Hill Road. And it's just like
I like it now.
I like them too now.
So because I
like them too now.
They work, but you tell somebody, okay, there's a building at 78th and Roundabout. They know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that area. What's it called?
Yankee Hill. Yeah.
I love that. That's so true. So I was driving in Spain not that long ago, and my navigator's like, oh my gosh, the next roundabout, it's 5 lanes, and we have to take the 9th exit. And he's like, 9th exit? How do you
count?
And now I'm in the roundabout now. So I'm just boom, take it and go. And he said, how'd you do that? And I go, well, I went faster than everybody else. And I counted really quick, but I love them. But it made me think about, they were originally talking about putting one on 48th and O, and everybody was like, oh, that will just be accident after whatever. And it's like, large ones work just as well as small, as long as people know what's going on.
They are very, very expensive. And the city tries to push that cost onto the developers that are building out. They try to make them participate in the cost of a roundabout, which is way more expensive than a traditional intersection. And the city is really, just kind of abandoned its responsibility on roads. They've sort of over decades said, and all cities have done this, it's not just Lincoln. And they've said the developers need to bear their fair share of the cost of roads. And here we are 20 years after that kind of a policy, sitting around wondering why the cost of housing is so expensive.
Right.
Why can't we build affordable housing? Well, because we don't have a shared commitment by the entire population to pay for the roads. We're trying to force that onto just new home buyers only.
Yep, exactly. And why is the cost of the same house in Omaha so much less expensive there than it is here by the same company building with the same materials, with the exact same floor plan, and very similar square contingencies part of it? Oh gosh, we could go down a whole nut. We're gonna carry
that would be a whole,
your show.
A whole sermon from Robin.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you back for our first ever, probably never going to happen, all day show. And we will talk about development and cost of development.
Wind her up and watch her start.
Yes, I know. Oh my gosh. No, I used to listen to you on the city council about it, and I was like, it made so much sense. And I remember when Grow Lincoln was first starting, you were talking about development. And at one point in time, you said something where you said what the city really needs in order to catch up for inventory, which, by the way, we still need big time. Inventory is terrible. I think there were 812 houses on the market last week. When I started in 2021, it was usually 150, 200. You put the sign in the yard, sat in your car with the sold sign, and put that in 20 minutes later because they went so fast because interest rate was nothing, right? But the truth of the matter is we have a huge inventory problem. We should have 2,500 on the market forever. We lost tons of builders in 2008. That decade, we only built like 5.7 million homes in the United States when we really need to be building about 25 million. And I remember you said several years ago, this is a good thing, don't panic. And you said, we need a moratorium on a lot of these infrastructure things that are being put on the builders so we can build a lot of homes and make it easier and catch up with inventory. Now, I didn't word it as well as you do because
not as eloquently.
Yes, I'm just starting on 3-syllable words, but you use 5-syllable words. And so
I know.
So for me, Robin,
where's my dictionary?
There's sometimes where I'm Googling, what did she say? Oh, perfect sense. No, I'm just teasing. But there's a lot to that. And I always love tuning into Grow Lincoln because not only did I find out what businesses are opening and what businesses are closing, but also just the insights into what does it take to grow a city? What does it take to grow business? Of course, it takes that, but so many other things. And the partnership between city and developers, government and private sector is so important.
Yeah. There's a lot of regulation out there and it costs money. So
right. Yeah. All the time.
Yeah. I'm real curious to see if we have to figure out our building situation in this town because their homes are going so lightning fast. And I think I'm in a small town, and the house across the street listed. I could have bought this house 5 years ago for 180. They listed it for 379, I think it was. And I thought, that's never going to happen. 24 hours, it was gone. I'm like, wow. Now's probably the time to sell. I don't know. Is now the time to sell? It's never time to sell.
You got to remember.
Where you can move to?
Gary says yes. Travis says no.
Yesterday
don't ever
was
sell.
better, but we can do today.
That's the nightmare. That's what Shannon and I talk about that because we're right on the verge of being empty nesters going, I don't need all this house anymore. Yeah. And I have a swimming pool that I never get in. I just play junior chemist all summer long and spend money at it and go, we should probably sell this thing. And she goes, where would we go? We'd pay more money for less square footage.
And she's right.
And she's absolutely right. Yeah. Back on the 402 Business Insider. Seems kind of weird. It's like another segment. Yeah, we have another segment. And even one after this. It's kind of nice. I love this new format because I feel like we've always run out of guests or run out of time before we run out of guests. And now we actually get to dig in and have good conversation. So
maybe by the end of this, you won't feel that way.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Next week might be different. But
you mean it's not over? I thought it was over. No.
This segment is brought to us by the Lincoln Airport and the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. Are you guys members of the Chamber of Commerce?
We are.
Yes, both of us are.
I tell you, Jason's doing such a great job down there.
Very
Yes, he's doing a
impressed
very nice job.
with him. He is very wise and he's not emotional, but he makes his point.
And a heck of a dresser.
Yes.
He came in here.
He came with radio face and outfit.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Jason,
I'm
you
like,
on target here. Yeah.
But it was funny because my wife, when we were interviewing him, my wife goes, you're not wearing that because you're on camera and you're going to be standing next to Jason. I actually dressed up because I knew even on a Saturday, he's not coming in on a t-shirt. So.
And I'm going to say this very bluntly, how impressed I am with his staff. He does not have one dumb person working there. Those are smart people.
Well, he has surrounded himself in some cases with people that they are his equals at the least, and sometimes maybe better. And a leader that can do that is an impressive leader. You have a lot of leaders that they get that position by keeping a seat warm for decades, and then they become suddenly this leader.
Yep.
Where Jason is more like, he said several times on the air when he had him in, he goes, it's my team. It's the team. And he's not afraid to give them credit. And it's a good thing that he does. And that speaks volumes to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're in good hands.
He does a very nice job.
And that's a crucial lesson in business ownership is surround yourself with people who are better than you.
Exactly.
Because if you have to bring them up to your level, it's going to be difficult.
Then you're just a teacher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and specifically, hopefully better than you in an area where you have a deficiency.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Which is easy because all I have are deficiencies in my business.
And then
everybody's better.
Yeah, and another thing is then just make sure they have what they need to succeed.
Yeah,
that's the key. Don't micromanage it, like we were talking earlier about corporate American could do sometimes. That is not his game plan at all. And I think the chamber's just it is skyrocketing.
Yeah,
it's just going to become even more.
They're killing. Yeah, they're doing an incredible job.
Well, let's go back to this is a great question for you guys. What's it like juggling your real estate businesses that you do and doing a radio show?
Surprisingly, it's not as difficult because what we do, we find out a lot of this information before everybody else does because we're involved in commercial real estate.
Right.
So that helps us with our radio show.
Right.
And so that part is helpful. The time commitment is way greater than people think.
People have no idea how much time it takes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we spend 15 hours a week for a 1 hour show.
Woo. You guys do a lot more. That's probably why your show sounds better than ours.
I'm counting driving time and,
Yeah.
We probably do 2-3 hours at least now that we're 90 minutes, it's going up. But
because we do 4 guests every week, and so we are doing that planning 2 and 3 months in advance.
And then we get questions about what's going up where, and if one of us doesn't know the answer immediately, one of us goes out and finds what is happening.
Yeah, we drive around.
On that note, I was going to ask, so you're not working part-time for the permitting department at the city? Because I listened to you so many times. I go, there was a permit pulled for, and there was a permit pulled for, and I'm like, she works there. I think she works there. But that's your research, which is a lot of that.
Dave
People
does,
don't think about that.
Dave
You do
does
that,
the
I'm sure.
permitting
Yeah,
research.
that's part of my prep work. Robin does a lot of this work.
I write the script and invite the guests,
and then I go and I look and edit things to make sure they're all there. But then the permits, I pull those. Every single one.
That's a lot of research.
Yeah. I pull every single commercial building permit once a week. Every single one.
Wow. That's nice.
To know what's going on.
That's smart. Very smart.
But I don't know, Robin and I just kind of figured out a system that works for the two of us.
Yeah, we've been doing it the same for 15 years, and our guests, they know exactly what to expect when they walk into the studio. It's rapid fire. Put out the Ted from our company puts the podcast out on Monday.
Yeah.
So,
well, one thing I remember from co-hosting a show when I would sub for you guys is the financial guy, and you have to read that little disclaimer for him, and it's kind of like like you can't say it. Like, I remember the first time you wanted me to read it, I was like reading.
You have to practice.
Tongue twister, to say the least.
I put that on tape.
It's like, I know. Well, anyway, it was like, I always thought, how do you do that? Of course, now you're used to it, but
read it fast.
Yeah.
And you guys probably put into each guest time commitment wise, like what we do. This show was kind of hard to prep for because I had to prep for Eschliman commercial
for
real
6
estate, and then
segments.
I had, I mean, and then I had to read about your business and then grow Lincoln, and so
I'm reading about 20 people's businesses a month.
That has to be a lot.
Right.
Because you have to be prepared, because you never know which way an interview is going to bounce. And we're laughing off the air here is I don't think we hit one note that I had laid down on my sheet, because you never know, but you have to be prepared, and you have to know about people's businesses, because if it bounces, you got to follow it.
I'm a big believer in proper prior planning, preventing poor permerformance.
We're doing.
I like that.
You like the Peter Piper one too, don't you? Look, goodness gracious.
We're doing a really fun theme. What's it like to be and we actually have them walk through what a day is like. So if you're thinking of changing careers, or if you have a kid in college that's trying to decide what they want to be when they grow up, this is what I do in the morning. This is what I do before lunch. This is what it's like in the afternoon.
I like to tell my mentees, I'll say, okay, we're going to talk about realtoring today. Not real estate or anything. We're talking about realtoring, what that looks like. So if you think you're just going to set your schedule and that's what it's like, and then Robin and Ted call up and go, hey, we want to go see this house at 5:30. Where we're your 5:30 just went to, you need to end that planning. It's kind of interesting because it's difficult to plan. But
we should the next time I find a house that I want you to show me, you should bring your mentees with you, because it's like, have you guys ever seen Outbreak? You should see the houses that I buy. Gary is like, he's got the suit, he's got the mask, he's got all that. If you want to wash them out in real estate, or see if they have the guts to hang in there, I'll take them down in the basement. One of the turds I buy.
They drove with me once. I'm not sure I can get in the car again. I'm not the best driver. Well,
and you're back for the last segment of the 402 Business Insider. This segment is brought to us by James Arthur Vineyards and Sutter Heyman Jewelers. So absolutely love those guys. They sponsor your show too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sutter Heyman does.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're and great guests. They know what's going on downtown. They tell us.
They do.
Yeah.
I love that.
And they have been a long-term sponsor of our
probably
show.
Since day one. Yeah.
Long-term. Yeah.
Yeah, they were anytime I co-hosted. They were all
we've been doing their marketing for 25 years now.
Have you?
Yep. And so that was one. It's like the contract comes to us and it's like, yep, ink that. That's easy.
Megan Bertles comes on our show. She is fabulous. She is wonderful. She could be a radio show host.
So Robin, if I'm listening today and I'm thinking about starting a business or have some questions about commercial real estate, how do I best contact you?
Eschliman Commercial Real Estate. You can Google Grow Lincoln and find, if you can't spell Eschliman. Yeah. Nobody can. Yeah. But yeah, you can find me through Googling Grow Lincoln.
Yeah. It's Eschliman.
Yeah. Eichelberger.
Dave, how can they find you?
You could Google Albers Company, ALBERS, or call our main phone number, 402-434-0292.
0292. Easy
there you go.
Remember.
Easy to remember.
Right.
Who do you guys have coming up on the show today?
Today we have Derek Zimmerman from Baylor Law. He's the attorney that's going to talk about, what to do about your business if you want to buy or you want to lease. Matt Kirkland is going to be in he's a realtor.
Yeah, I know Matt.
Yeah, and he's going to talk about, let's see, is he doing rental houses? He's going to update us on the market anyway, what the number of houses are. And then Rachel Barth will be in as well. She comes in every month on our show and lets us know what's going on at the airport. And that is a whole city up there.
Yes,
it is.
Yeah.
All
That's
those
something a lot of people,
it's a mini
think they
city.
realize how big of an area the airport deals with.
And a lot of businesses depend on the airport, and it's incredible. She's actually coming to talk to us, I think, next month. I know she's on the schedule here, probably 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I like her.
Oh, she's sharp, very
She's
sharp.
a nice person. Yeah.
She is for sure on top of it.
Very. And you guys are going to have a long day today. You guys have a 2.5 hour day where we're complaining about going an hour and a half. So you guys,
right.
And I even have meetings after that.
Oh man.
3 of my listings sold, so I only have 1 open house this weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna get the afternoon off too, which is rare. And now someone's gonna call because I said that. But that's realtoring.
No rest for the wicked, Gary.
That's right. That's it. Exactly. No kidding. How is commercial real estate business right now?
For our company, it has really picked up. The kind of business we do, a lot of selling business buildings to small business owners. They are the first to be affected by high interest rates. The corporates can sort of ride the storm, but the small business owner is extremely sensitive to business rates, and those things had to flatten and stop going up. And then our business began to pick up.
Yeah, same thing with our business. Things have been going reasonably
much better lately.
Yeah.
We track the cost of lumber at work in our team meetings every week, and it's interesting to see COVID hit, and of course lumber just went way up, and then it stayed that way for quite a while. And I'm not going to say it's really coming down, but it has leveled off.
Yeah.
Which when you're building, or I'm working with somebody that wants to build, knowing the trend of how it's going to be, and that lumber's not going to be 1.5 times when I'm ready to frame than it is now is great. So we're at least seeing a level off. But man, inflation makes a big difference for all of us in real estate.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely got to hit you guys.
Where we are actually starting to see prices drop in warehouse leasing, and a lot of that ties back to tariff tax panic. There's that whole industry does not know what's up ahead of them. And so now we're not leasing warehouse spaces. And we've seen prices drop $2 a square foot in the last couple of weeks.
Wow. Uncertainty is just crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And in business, we all need some sort of certainty.
Yeah.
I haven't seen quite that significant of a drop, but I've seen things slow down in industrials, what she's talking about, warehouses. So still, it's been reasonably difficult for the office space already in the downtown area.
That's not been easy either.
No.
Office leasing downtown, that's tough.
Yeah.
That kind of surprises me a little bit. So when you say office leasing downtown, you're including the Haymarket. I mean, I know.
Yes.
I want to sound like completely ignorant, but I mean, because I would always think that would still be hopping and everything. I mean, I love going down there.
What's going on? Part of it is Antelope Valley is hot. And they're sucking some of those tenants from downtown.
Interesting.
So,
you're predominantly thinking of the Telegraph District.
I'm sorry. I said Antelope Valley. I meant Telegraph District. Yeah. And and of course the corporate office companies have had trouble getting people to come back to work. That's ongoing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm selling houses and helping people find houses that have to go back to work. The IB moving company, IBM.
Yeah.
They're bringing a lot of their people back nationally. So people are selling their homes. Fiserv brought everybody back. I did a lot of work with them when they brought everybody back. It's very interesting. They bring them back and then they allow them one day at home, and now they're going back to hybrid. I'm kind of like, okay.
I think hybrid is here to stay.
Yeah.
My daughter loves it. She works at the university for extension office, the dean of extension, and she's 2 on 3 at, and the opposite the next week. She loves that.
That's what pretty much what we hear.
Yeah,
you
hear a lot
of
of
that.
hybrid. Yeah.
See, and I'm lucky because my wife manages our employees, because there are some people who can work at home. There's some people who I'm a can't do it.
Oh, I am
I'll
too.
find something better to do.
My drums, my piano, my
Right.
cat, my plants.
Right.
Oh, look at that. What's this? Look over there. Where I'm at the office, I'm incredibly focused.
Yeah.
So
So just curious, hopefully Shannon and Ted aren't listening, but everybody asks me about working with a spouse. And so you and your husband own this business together. I always tell people, I go, boy, it's tough. It's really tough, but the benefits are incredible, but you have to be careful not to take it home. How do you like working?
About halfway through supper, we turn it off, and the topic changes to the dogs, our daughter. Where are we going to go out to eat next time? Yes, we put limits on it, but yes, I love working with him. Wouldn't want to trade that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It is one of those that there's nobody more I trust in the world,
Right.
than Shannon, because I know she's going to do what she has to do and when, and vice versa. But yeah, if anybody out there listening,
And again, it goes back to biology. For millennia, husbands and wives work together. This is not some new thing,
Right.
you know.
yeah, exactly. Sure. I mean, think about it historically.
This is how we
I never
got
thought of
here.
that.
It was because husbands and wives work together.
well,
So true.
see, and it's funny because Shannon tried to get me to come work with her for like 3 or 4 years, and I resisted. Because it's like, and finally it dawned on me. It's like, I answer to her 16 hours out of the day. I might as well just give her the other 8.
I had to recruit. Yeah. I tried recruiting both him and his business. Like, both of you come and work for me. At least I got him. Yeah.
So is there like, in my business, Shannon is the ultimate authority.
Yeah. I mean, just because I've been doing it longer, but I give him a lot of autonomy to do what he thinks is the best thing.
Yeah.
So
Very interesting. Fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in, and stay tuned for Grow Lincoln. You guys have another hour to go. So
yes.
But thanks for coming in and
Stick
talking to
around.
us.
We look forward to our guests.
It's been a pleasure being on the radio. Guys.
This was so fun.
Thanks again,
yeah,
guys.
we'll have to do this again.
Yes.
So-
Love this.
You're listening to the 402 Business Insider, and we will be back next week. And Robin and Dave are up next, so stay tuned.